Hi, and welcome to another Photo Stories. Today I've got the opportunity to introduce you to a freelance photographer living in the north of England by the name of Abbie Jennings. Abbie got a first class honours degree from Manchester back in 2017, followed that with an MA in Art Gallery and Museum Studies, which means she also does curation, which is an interest of hers. She was awarded the Red Eye Talent Award, several other notable awards, including a development award for her curation work from the Arts Council of Great Britain, and recently won a major award from the Arts Council to set up a photography network for emerging photographers in the Humber region, which is called Across the Bridge. I know that you've shown your work as well, Abby, in a number of places and group shows, including Tate, Liverpool, I think, and the National Football Museum, which intrigued me somewhat. Anything I've missed out that's significant? And I'm sure there's a lot that I've missed out that's significant. But
No, just the project is called Over the Bridge.
oh, sorry, right, not across the bridge. Okay,
No, it's
so
over
we're
the
going over the bridge.
it's Arts
Right,
Council England.
my mistake. I apologise.
It's okay.
Um, Right, so we're going to talk about one photograph of yours that you're going to show us. Would you like to put that on the screen now and just tell us a bit about why you took the photograph and any technical issues that might have occurred with it?
Yeah. Can you see that?
I can, thank you.
Amazing. So it's probably quite obvious where this photograph was taken. It's at Glastonbury. It was the first time I ever went to Glastonbury in 2016. So this is the band Falls playing on the Pyramid stage. So it was actually the year that David Bowie had passed away. So the Pyramid stage had a tribute on the top to David Bowie, which you can see there. Um, so it's important to say that this picture was taken on my phone. It's not from a professional camera, it's from an iPhone 6, um, which feels quite historic now. Now we're on the 17, so um, crazy times how the cameras have actually improved so much on phones since then. So we was at the pyramid stage, the sun was setting, it was golden hour. All of this confetti had just come up from the band and the streamers at Glastonbury. You're allowed flags in the crowd, so all the flags were there. Everyone was having like the best time ever. And I just took a couple of pictures on my phone, and then I looked at them afterwards because you know when you're watching the concert, you're not really looking at your pictures on your phone to see what you've got. And then I was looking at it afterwards, I was like, oh, you know what? Like that's actually a really good picture,
It
considering it's
is,
taken
yeah,
on a phone.
captures the
So
atmosphere really well.
thank you. So this kind of started everything for me. So I'm now predominantly an arts and culture photographer, and I do photograph a lot of music. I photograph a lot of festivals. Um, and at this moment in time, I had just finished my second year of a photography degree at Salford University, and I was going into my final year. And the final year of uni is where you really kind of decide what route you want to go down. And I was already doing quite a bit of music photography living in Manchester, and it just really like solidified it for me going to Glastonbury, experiencing that for the first time. And I was just like, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is the dream I'm going to chase, and I'm really, really going to try and make it happen. Um, so over the years, I have kind of made that happen. I would say music is probably only about 20% of what I photograph as a photographer now. Um, but I do still predominantly do that in my work. The summer season for me is super busy with festivals, and I photograph gigs and concerts throughout the year as well. Um, but yeah, this image really did kind of kickstart it for me. And it was taken on a phone. I do wish that I had a different camera with me, but then you kind of the best camera you have is the one that you have with you. So it I didn't need to take it on another
I think
camera
that
because
there's a sort of idea, isn't there, in photography that everything has to be perfect and clear and sharp and I don't actually agree with that at all. There are times when it has to be, certainly. If you're taking portraits of people or you're taking some wildlife photographs, there's probably better if everything is nice and sharp and clear and obvious. But I think for scenes like this, you're communicating an atmosphere as much as anything, and it doesn't matter that this photograph is not perfect. And yes, you're right. If all you've got with you is that camera, use it because it doesn't mean it's going to be a bad photograph necessarily. So I think that's a really good point to make. What was the afterlife of this? I mean, to some extent, I suppose the afterlife was it set you on a course in photography. It made you decide what you wanted to do, and you've succeeded largely in doing that. But was there any other? I mean, has this appeared in any of the shows or anything you've done?
no, so it's never kind of been exhibited or anything like that. Um, but it's always had a place on my website, which has always been quite high up on the music page on my website. And people do kind of say sometimes with a website like you shouldn't have things on there that are too old or like you should, constantly be updating it. I do always update it. Like each year in January, I try and update my website, but this one always still remains on there. Um, just I think because it it sparked so much for me. Like it's not the best photo in the world, but it has a story to me that started everything. And when I see it, I can like visualize myself there again in that atmosphere, surrounded by my best friends, um, at the best festival in the world, arguably. Um, so yeah, it's kind of inspiring to me to like look back on it and see the journey that I've had since here nearly 10 years ago. Um, yeah, so I guess this particular image hasn't had success in itself, but it's the story and the journey that I've
Well, it's
been.
part of your story, isn't it, really? As I say, part of that journey, as you say, part of that journey. Um, I think it's a great image, actually, and I think that you're right. The photos taken on phones have improved unbelievably over the last few
Yeah.
years. And whilst there are some technical differences between them and using a high-end camera, you can still take very good photographs on phones. Now, that's a good example.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. I think I've always been an advocate for like you don't need the best equipment to take the best photographs and the best camera you have is the one that you have with you. So it's kind of proof to myself because I'm such a in my like commercial work and client work, I'm very nitpicky, I would say. Like I'm a perfectionist. If something doesn't look quite right, that picture is getting deleted. Um, so it's kind of interesting for me to see this and know that the picture is fine. Whereas if I was delivering this to a client, like this probably would have been axed. Um, so it's yeah, it is interesting for me to like actually say that about my own work. Because I'm such a perfectionist in other areas of my work. But yeah, you don't need the best equipment. You absolutely don't. And yeah, that's kind of proof. And maybe I should live by that a little bit more.
well, I mean, I wish you well. Um, all you need now is the introduction to, some amazing band or musician who says, "Come on my world tour with me and do all my photographs," and
Yeah.
I guess you'd quite enjoy that. So
I would absolutely love to do that. That is the dream. I
it
do
has
think one,
happened. It has happened. Bob Dylan selected a photographer just because he saw a shot that's the guy taken actually illegally at one of his concerts, and Dylan liked it and said, "I want him on my world tour." So it
Yeah,
does happen. Keep
it does
doing it.
happen. It does happen. My bucket list is to photograph at Glastonbury. So one day, hopefully.
Great. Abbie, thank you very much for joining us. At the end of the video, I will put your website on there so people can visit you, find out more than they've been able to in our brief time together today. But thanks very much for joining me and for telling your photo story.
Thank you for having me.